Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we are doing the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Bhagavat written by Vrindavan Das. Which Vrindavan Das Thakur has not covered in the pre-sannyas past tense, has been taken by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Chaitamrita. So the first 5 verses of Chaitanya Bhagavat, they are considered to be the Mangalacharan of Chaitanya Bhagavat. So whenever we are doing the Chaitanya Bhagavat, maybe we'll be in the second chapter also, but the first chapter, 5 verses, it's compulsory to be done. So they are the Mangalacharan, invoking auspiciousness. Ajanvilambita-bhujau kanakavadato sankirtanaikapitaro kamalayataksho Vishwambharo Dijavaro Yugadharmapalo Vande Jagatpriyakaro Karunavataro. Second verse. Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha Avatirnau Sakarakaranau Parichinnau Sat Ishwarau Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanandau Dau Bhratarau Bhaje Sajayati Vishuddha Vikramaha Kanakabha Kamalayati Kshanah Varjanu Vilambi Sadbhujo Shalbhujo Bahuda Bhakti Rasabhinartakaha Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandro Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishvesha Murte Jayati Jayati Nrityam Tasya Sarva Priyanam. So these Mangalacharan 5 verses, they glorify the the reasons of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, the beautiful, wonderful body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, the glorification of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body and Nityananda Prabhu's body, how their arms extend to the knees, how their complexion is so wonderful. In this way, glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, glorifying Nityananda Prabhu, the whole chapter starts. So today we are in the 7th verse. Yesterday we saw how Krishna's Vrindavan Das Thakur, he pays obeisances to the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Before paying obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, let me pay unlimited obeisances to the feet of the confidential devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhakta Bhakti Bhagavan. First comes Bhakta, then comes Bhakti, then comes Bhagavan. Without Bhakta, how Bhakti can be understood? If Bhakti is not understood, how Bhagavan can be got? So that is why Bhakta Bhakti Bhagavan. First paying obeisances to the devotees and then subsequently to Krishna. Tabe Vandon Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwara Navadvipe Avatar Nama Vishwambhara. You share in the screen also, Prabhuji, Haribol. If you share in the screen, those who don't have the book can refer to it. We have that PDF also.
Okay.
Tabe Vandon Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwara Navadvipe Avatar Nama Vishwambhara. I pay obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now Vrindavan Das Thakur says, now I pay obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Where did he appear? He appeared in Navadvipa. And his another name is Vishwambhara. So after paying obeisances to his spiritual master, Nityananda Prabhu. The author then pays obeisances to Chaitanya Deva. So among in the previous verse, paying obeisances to the confidential devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been given. Among all the confidential devotees, who is the foremost? A spiritual master is the foremost. And Nityananda Prabhu is the spiritual master of Vrindavan Das. Thakur is paying obeisances to Nityananda Prabhu and then paying obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yesterday was Nityananda Trayodashi. I wrote somebody a message. He collected some funds. I wrote, Nityananda Prabhu's mercy will be unto you. You are specially empowered by Nityananda Prabhu. Then he told me, can you give me his number? He was not knowing, he was very new. I wrote, what do you want? The phone number of Nityananda Prabhu so that I can call him and I can pay obeisances. I was such an innocent devotee. So I was thinking, what phone number should be given? Yes, they are absolute truth, na? Then you should say one. One is the phone number. So this is a proper etiquette. That is why the word tabe or then is used. Tabe means after paying obeisances to Nityananda Prabhu. Now, the author, Vrindavan Das Thakur, is paying obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let us read the purport given by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We'll be spending nice time in reading the purports also. We don't want to rush about. Long before the advent of Sripada Shankaracharya, the Tridandi Sannyasa order existed in the Vaishnava line of Sri Vishnu Swami. In the Vishnu Swami Vaishnava Sampradaya, there are 10 different kinds of sannyasa names and 108 different names for sannyasis who accept the Tridanda. Ekadandi sannyasa, Tridanda sannyasa. Tridandi sannyasis are in the Vishnu Swami Vaishnava Sampradaya. That is Rudra Sampradaya. But at the time of Shankaracharya, who was a Vedantist inclined to impersonalism and who preached the philosophy of monism, the sect of Panchopasakas, those who worship 5 gods, had again become prominent in India. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Vedic sannyas from the Shankara Sampradaya, which uses 10 names for their sannyasis. In Aryavarta, many Aryan pseudo followers of the Vedas became followers of Shankaracharya, known as Panchopasakas, under the guidance of that Sampradaya. The 10 names of Shankara sannyasis are Tirtha, Ashrama, Vana, Aranya, Giri, Parvata, Sagara, Saraswati, Bharati, Puri. So these are all the titles of sannyasis. Tirtha, Ashrama, Vana, Aranya, Giri, Parvat, Sagar, Saraswati, Bharati, and Puri. The title and abode of each sannyasi and brahmachari is as follows. Sannyasis with the titles Tirtha and Ashrama, they stay at Dwarka and their brahmachari name is Swarupa. Those names by Vana, Aranya, they stay at Purushottam, that is Jagannath Puri, and their brahmachari is Prakasha. Brahmachari name is Prakasha. Those with the names Giri, Parvat, Sagara generally stay at Badrikashrama. Their brahmachari name is Ananda. Those with the titles Saraswati, Bharati, Puri, they stay in Sringeri in South India, and their brahmachari name is Chaitanya. Sripad Shankaracharya established 4 monasteries in India in the 4 directions north, south, east, and west. And he entrusted them to 4 sannyasi disciples. Now there are hundreds of branch monasteries under these 4 principal monasteries. And although there is an official symmetry among them, there are many differences in the dealings. The 4 different sects of monasteries are known as Anandwara, Bhogavara, Kitavara, and Bhumivara. And in course of time, they have developed different ideas and different slogans. According to the regulation of Shankara's sect, One who wishes to enter the renounced order in the disciplic succession must first be trained as a brahmachari. Why this is running like this? Haribol. Why is it running? Okay, just check that. According to the regulation of Shankara's sect, one who wishes to enter the renounced order in the disciplic succession must first be trained as a brahmachari under a bona fide sannyasi. The brahmachari's name is ascertained according to the group to which the sannyasi belongs. This custom is current in this sampradaya up to the present age. Lord Chaitanya superficially accepted sannyas from Keshav Bharati and became known as Krishna Chaitanya. The Lord kept his brahmachari name even after accepting sannyas. Those who recorded the Lord's pastimes did not mention that Lord ever identified himself as Bharati. Although a sannyasi in the Shankara Sampradaya thinks that he has become the supreme. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered himself the eternal servitor of Lord Krishna even after he took Ekadanda sannyas. As the friend of the living entities and the spiritual master of the universe, he benefited the conditioned souls by preaching the pure devotional service of Krishna among them and never exhibited the pride of the Ekadandi sannyasi. The brahmachari's only pride is their service to the spiritual master, which is not unfavorable to devotional service. The authentic biographies also mention that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he accepted the danda, rod, and a begging pot, which are symbols of the sannyas order. So let us take something in short. Because this is the whole purport is so big, it should not happen that we go on reading and then we forget. So Ekadandi sannyasi, Tridandi sannyasi, like the two types of sannyasa are there. Vaishnava sannyasis are Tridandi sannyasis, karmana, manasaha, vacha. With all their karmana, by activities, vacha, vachan, and karmana, vacha, and manasa, with their mind, they are completely surrendered to Krishna. That is why Vaishnava sannyasis are Tridandi sannyasis. In Shankara philosophy, it is impersonalism. Sarvam Kalidam Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. That is their wrong understanding of these three phrases. Aham Brahmasmi, three principles. Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Sarvam Kalidam Brahman. And they identify themselves with Lord. The Lord is who? Impersonal. Lord is impersonal. Lord is Brahman for them. Everything is Brahman. And when a person comes out of his, when a person is able to control his mind and senses and he's become the sannyasi, after taking the brahmachari order, he becomes sannyas, he takes sannyas, then he is as good as God. So that is the philosophy of Shankara. Now he has become God, he's as good as God, he's become God. And for them, God is who? Impersonal Brahman. Is Ekadandi sannyasis. Now in this sampradaya, Ekadandi sannyasis, there are 10 names. In that one name is Bharti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas from Keshav Bharti. Because that time taking sannyas from Vaishnava Sampradaya was not happening. So that is why he took sannyas from Keshav Bharti. Afterwards, Keshav Bharti became his disciple only. Keshav Bharti took up Vaishnavism. Now he took sannyas from Keshav Bharti, but he maintained the title Chaitanya. Because when a person takes sannyas in a particular title, he has to serve as a brahmachari. At the time, brahmachari title is Chaitanya. He maintained this title because brahmachari is supposed to serve the spiritual master and Lord. He did not want to become God, though he is God himself. That is why he did not call himself as Bharti. Nor, though he has taken Ekadandi sannyasa, he never exhibited that pride also that has been given. Now, in this way, here, Tabe Vandon Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Now, the word Chaitanya The name Chaitanya has been maintained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even after taking sannyas. Let me pay obeisances. Tabe Vando. Maheshwara, who is he? He is Maheshwara. Now, for Maheshwara, again the explanation is given. The word Maheshwara is found in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 4.10 and 6.7 as follows. Mayam tu prakrutim vidyan mayinam tu Maheshwaram. Although Maya, illusion is false or temporary, the background of Maya is the supreme magician, the Maheshwara, the personality of Godhead, who is Maheshwara, the supreme controller. Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram. Maheshwaram, Maha Ishwara, the controller of all controllers. You are the supreme controller of all controllers. Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram. Ishwara means controller and Lord is Paramam Maheshwaram. In his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila 11.27.23, Srila Sridhar Swami has quoted the following verses from the Padma Puran. Yo Vedadau Swaraha Proktoho Vedante Cha Pratishtitaha Tasya Prakriti Linasya Yaha Paraha Sa Maheshwaraha. Now see, this is how Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is teaching. When you have a verse, we should know to give quotations, even Maheshwara. When this word Maheshwara comes immediately, a sincere devotee, what he should do? He should see where in different places Maheshwara has been referred to. Even in Bhagavad Gita, you have Upadrashtanu Mantacha Bharta Bhoktaha Maheshwaraha. He who is described in the Vedas and established in the Vedanta, who exists after the merging of Prakriti, is called Maheshwara. Who is Maheshwara? Who is described in the Vedas. He is Maheshwara. He is established in the Vedanta. What is Vedanta? Bhakti, where Vedas end, where the logics of Vedas end, there Bhakti begins. So who is established in the Bhakti? There is Krishna. And who exists after the merging of Prakriti, after creation, after maintenance, after dissolution. Who is existing? That Maheshwara is existing. Yo asau akaro vai Vishnu Narayano Harihe Saeva Purusho Nityaha Paramatma Maheshwaraha. Again, who is Maheshwara? This is Prakriti Khanda, chapter 53. That person who remains after annihilation is none other than Lord Vishnu. What happens after dissolution? Creation, maintenance, dissolution or destruction. Who is existing even after destruction? That is Narayana, Vishnu, who is non-different from Narayana or Hari. So Saeva Purusho Nityaha, he is eternal super soul. Paramatma Maheshwara, he is Maheshwara. In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana also, this verse is given again. This verse is given by Sridhar Swami in the 11.27.23. Now in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Prakriti Khanda chapter 53, it is said, Vishwasthanam cha sarvesham mahatamishwarah swayam maheshwaram cha tanemam pravadanti manishinah. So who is Maheshwara? Maheshwara is referred to that Lord of all places in the universe. Vishwasthanam cha sarvesham. He is present everywhere. Mahat, which is called Mahat, he is present everywhere. The city of Navdeep is situated on the eastern bank of Ganga. But before that, before reading this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is referred as Maheshwara. Who is Chaitanya? Non-different from Krishna. So Krishna, Vishnu, Narayana, they are existing everywhere. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is existing everywhere. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a super soul who is residing in everyone's heart. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the controller of all controllers. So Lord has appeared in the form of a devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is existing in each and everyone's heart. That is why when there is a desire to grow in devotional service, it's Chaitanya who gives that Chaitanya. Now, what is the meaning of Chaitanya consciousness? That purified consciousness. That purified consciousness to everyone. The city of Navadvip is situated on the eastern bank of Ganga. For a long time, it was the capital of Sena kings. At present, the place, formerly known as Navadvip, consists of a number of villages with various names. The place, now known as Mayapur, is a site wherein the residences of Jagannath Mishra, Srivas Thakur, Advaitacharya, Murari Gupta were formerly situated. Due to the change in the course of Ganga, most of the Navadvip area of Chaitanya's time has been submerged. Therefore, most of the inhabitants were forced to shift to nearby places. The modern city of Navadvip is situated at the place known during the time of Chaitanya as Kulia or Mahadapur. But in the 18th century, Navadvip was situated on the island of Kulyadaha or Kaliyadaha. In the 17th century, however, Navadvip was situated at the places now known as Nidaya, Shankarapura or Rudradeepa. Previous to that, and up to 16th century, the Navadvip of Lord Chaitanya's time extended to the places now known as Mayapur, Balaidigi, Palaldigi, Vamanapukara, Srinathapura, Bharaudanga, Simulia, Rudrapada, Taranavasa, Kriyati, and Rama Jivanapura. The present day village of Vamanapukura was then known as Belpukur. But when this ancient village of Belpukur was shifted to Megharachada at the end of 17th century, it became known as Vamanapukura. Ramchandrapura, Kakadera Matha, Sri Ramapura, Babladi, and other places on the western side of the Ganga. Some of these places were part of Koladvipa. Some were part of Modramadvipa, and although some places like Chinadanga and Pahadapura are now lost, places like Tegarira Kola, Kola Amada, and Kulia Ganga of present day in Navadvip still display evidence of ancient Koladvip. Vidyanagar, Jannanagar, Mamagachi, Kovala, etc. on the western side of Ganga are supposed to be the suburbs of the ancient Navadvipa. Various unreasonable arguments regarding the location of ancient Navadvip began even before the time of Chaitanya and have presently taken a terrible shape for various reasons. These baseless arguments have not and will not ever be successful. Under the order of perfect devotees like Jagannath Das Babaji, it has again been indisputably established that a short distance from the Samadhi of Chand Kazi is the site of Jagannath Mishra and Sachidevi's house, the Lord's birthplace at Mayapur, Yogapit. All impartial, historical, and spiritual evidence enriched with reason and argument indisputably concludes that the area surrounding present-day Mayapur is a site of ancient Navadvip. Such an elaborate explanation, just see. The explanation about the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is Mayapur in Navadvip. So Navadvip is in the eastern side of Ganga. In the 12th wave of Bhakti Ratnakara, it is written, it is specifically stated in the Vishnu Puran that all the Lord's abodes are situated within Nadia. So Bhakti Ratnakara speaks about this, that all Lord's abode are there in Nadia. The Vishnu Puran 2.3, 6 and 7 also states, please hear about the 9 islands of Bharatvarsha, known as Indradvipa, Kasheru, Tamraparna, Gabhastiman, Nagadvipa, Soumya, Gandharva, Varuna, and 9th Navadvip, which is situated under the ocean in the midst of the 8 islands. Navadvip extends 1,000 yojanas from north to south. So that is the glory of Navdeep. Navdeep is included in the 9 islands of Bharatvarsha. The whole Bharatvarsha is divided into 9 islands, in which one of the island is Navdeep. In his commentary on these two verses, Sridhar Swami writes, in these verses, the word Sagara Samvrata means near the ocean. Since the name of the 9th island is not separately mentioned, it is obvious that the 9th island is Navdeep. In the Gaur Ganuddesha Deepika 18, it is said, all glories to the most wonderful abode of Navdeep, which those in full knowledge of Rasa called Vrindavan, which people of knowledge call Goloka, which which others call Shvetadvipa and others call Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. So Navdeepa has been called by different names. Those who are full of rasas, they call Navdeep as Vrindavan. Those who are having knowledge, they call Goloka. Some call as some call Navdeepa as Shvetadvipa and some call as Paravyoma. Navdeep is famous throughout the universe as the place where the 9 types of devotional service, beginning with hearing, shine brilliantly. The 9 varieties of devotional service are enumerated by Prahlad Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavata 7.5 23 and 24. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. Hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. Karmana, uh, karmana manasaha vacha. These 9 processes are accepted as devotional service, pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 processes or methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. So, very clearly, it has been said, if he has to be called as a pure devotee, then he should follow these 9 important processes. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. All these 9 processes are very, very important. Although Sri Navdeep consists of 9 separate islands, they remain one. Throughout Satya, Treta, Dwapar Yugas, up through the beginning of Kali Yuga, the name of Navdeep was never lost. But as Kali Yuga progresses, the name of Navdeep will be nearly forgotten. Some persons, however, will realize the abode of Navdeep. By Krishna's will, Vajranab established many villages in Braja and named them according to the pastimes that were performed there. Yet as time passed, many of those places were forgotten and renamed or renamed. In the same way, the villages of Navadip were manifested and named according to the pastimes performed there by the Lord and his devotees. Yet some of them were forgotten and some were renamed. The name of Navdeep, however, remained simply by hearing the word Dvipa, one's miseries are diminished. There are 9 Dvipas on the eastern and western side of Ganga. Antardvipa, Simantadvipa, Godravadvipa, and Madhyadvipa. They are on the east of the Ganga. Koladvipa, Ritudvipa, Jhanudvipa, Modadruma Dvipa, and Rudradvipa. They are on the west of the Ganga. Beloved devotees of the Lord headed by Shiva and Parvati eternally reside in the abode of Navdeep. So technically now, Navdeep is one of the 9 islands of Bharatvarsha. In that Navadvip also, there are 9 Dvipas again. Navadvip has again 9 islands. These 9 islands are You can see the 4 islands are to the eastern side and the 5 islands are to the western side of Ganga. So the name of Navadvip, it is said, was existing in Satyuga also, but as the time went, people forgot. So the example is given of Vrindavan, where Vajranav established many villages, again people forgot. Tridandi Goswami Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has written in his Navadip Shataka. Prabodhananda Saraswati. Prabodhananda Saraswati is uncle of Gopala Bhatta Goswami, Prabodhananda Saraswati. Now he is writing in Navadip Shataka through the 9 processes of devotional service. Beginning with hearing, remembering, worshipping, we adore the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, who has appeared in Navadip with a complexion the color of molten gold, who is absorbed in the ecstatic mood of Radharani, who is always engaged in kirtan with associates playing mridungas and kartals, who is eternally worshipable by all living entities, who is a destroyer of the contamination of the age of Kali, and who is the bestower of happiness to his devotees. We adore Navdeep Dham, which is manifested by the Lord's internal potency, which bestows supreme happiness, which the Chandakya Upanishad glorifies as Para Brahmapura, which is glorified by the Smritis as Vaikunt, the abode of Vishnu, which is called Shwetadeepa by some great souls, which is known as Vrindavan by the rare devotees conversant with the transcendental names. So, glories of Navdeep has been given by Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati. The word avatar is explained by Jiva Goswami. So, see the words now. 1 Tabe Vandona Sri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwara Navadvipe Avatar. Now, Avatar has been, Navadvip has been elaborately described. Now, Avatar. In the Krishna Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami says, an avatar is he who descends into the material realm. Avatar, Utarna. Srila Bhalati Vidyabhushan has commented on the description of the Lord's incarnation in Rishi Rupa Goswami's Laghu Bhakavatamrita as follows. When the absolute truth incarnates from the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, into this material creation, he is called an avatar. From Vaikuntha, when he is appearing in this material world, he is known as avatar. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 2.88 to 90, it is stated, only the personality of Godhead, the source of all other divinities, is eligible to be designated Swayam Bhagavan or the primeval Lord. When from one candle many others are lit, I consider that one, the original Krishna, in the same way is the cause of all causes and all incarnations. This verse comes in, this translation is from the words of Brahma Samhita. Deepa Chire Vidashantaram Apyapeta Deepayati Bhuta Hetu Samana Dharma Yastad Revicha Vishmutaya Vibhati Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. There is actually one candle. That one candle lights all the candles. So that original candle is Krishna. The Chaitanya Chaitamrita Adi 3.28.30 says, therefore, in the company of my devotees, I shall appear on the earth and perform various colorful pastimes. Thinking thus, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna himself, descended at Nadia early in the age of Kali. Thus, the lion like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared in Navdeep. He has shoulders of a lion, powers of a lion, loud voice like a lion. Mute your phones, Hari Bol, Bade Prabhu. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 3.110 says, therefore, the principal reason for Chaitanya's descent is this appeal by Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya roared like a lion. The Lord, the protector of religion, appears by the desire of his devotee. Somebody called Bade Prabhu to mute his phone. The Chaitanya Charitamrita 5.14, 15, 19 says, beyond the material nature lies the realm known as Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. Like Krishna himself, it possesses all transcendental attributes such as 6 opulences. So, Lord and his abode are non-different. As Lord has 6 attributes, even his abode also has 6 attributes. That Vaikuntha region is all-pervading, infinite and supreme. It is the residence of Krishna and his incarnations. The abode is manifested within the material world by the will of Krishna. Now, Lord's abode appears wherever Lord appears, Lord's abode appears. It is identical to that original Gokula. They are not two different bodies. The Chaitanya Charitamrita very clearly says 5.78, 82, 82 Adi Leela. Although Shirodakshai Vishnu is called Kala of Lord Krishna, he is the source of Matsya Kurma and other incarnations. That Purusha, Shirodakshai Vishnu, is a performer of creation, maintenance, and destruction. He manifests himself in many incarnations, for he is a maintainer of the world. That fragment of Mahapurusha who appears for the purpose of creation, maintenance, and destruction is called incarnation. That Mahapurusha is identical with the personality of Godhead. He is the original incarnation, the seed of all others, and shelter of everything. Chaitanya Charitamrita again says when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, appears, he is a shelter of all plenary parts. Thus, at the time, all his plenary portions join in him. In whatever form one knows the Lord, one speaks of him in that way. In this, there is no falsity since everything is possible in Krishna. But I accept it as the truth because it has been said by the devotees. Since he is the source of all incarnations, everything is possible in him. They know that there is no difference between incarnation and the source of all incarnations. Previously, different people regarded Krishna in the light of different principles. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has exhibited to everyone all the past tense of all various incarnations. It's also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 20.263-264, the form of the Lord that descends into the material world to create is called an avatar, incarnation. All the expansions of Lord Krishna are actually residents of the spiritual world. However, when they descend into the material world, they are called incarnations. For the meaning of the word Vishwambhara, please see the purport of the first verse. Now see the justification given for each and every word. Such an elaborate explanation by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Every word from this verse, Tabe Vandona Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwara Navadipa Avatara Nama Vishwambhara. So he is the Kali Yuga avatar. For Kali Yuga, Lord has appeared to give his own name. So in this way, the 7th verse ends. Tomorrow we'll do from the 8th verse. So any questions? What questions we can ask? Asking the questions we should understand also nicely. And anyhow, Krishna's mercy is that is allowing us to read the purport, and this PDF will be put. You can go through the purport again and again. So more and more when we churn, then we can understand the subject very nicely. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी।
माताजी माहेश्वर का मीनिंग आपने क्या बताया माताजी?
महाईश्वरा सभी कंट्रोलर को क्या बोलेंगे आप हिंदी में?
नियंत्रण रखने वाला है,
नियंत्रक रखने वाला। उनके सबके कंट्रोलर के ये कंट्रोलर, इसलिए महाईश्वरा। जनरली हम महेश्वरा को शिव जी समझते हैं। भगवान अपने नाम को अपने अपने भक्तों के पास देते हैं, तो महेश्वरा यानी जो सबकी कंट्रोलर की कंट्रोलर है। ठीक है,
हाँ, धन्यवाद।